And Kyle, speaking of recruiting, there's not much to talk about in the moment.
Right.
As we discussed before we started to record, of course, the December 15th National Signing Day has taken over the recruiting cycle. 90% of the players are signed there. I do find that those programs that had a coaching transition, which Auburn does not, have a little bit more work to do typically going into February. So a little bit of good and not so good there as well. If you look at it within context, lots expected of anybody in the SEC to try to keep up with Alabama and now what Texas A&M's doing. So seventh right now in the 247 Sports Composite, according to in the SEC rankings, 18th in the country. Again, for most programs across the country, hey, that would be an excellent recruiting class. For Auburn, maybe finding themselves in the most difficult position to be in based on who else plays football in that state. Just your thoughts about Brian Harson's recruiting efforts.
I thought he had an outstanding December with the early signing period. There was a lot of hype, a lot of momentum. Auburn was in play for a lot of recruits that they didn't even get. And that, I think, is a testament even of itself under year one. And at the time, it wasn't very tumultuous with changing out and things like that. Mike Bobo was the one that, but I think most people kind of had expected that. So that was very exciting, but it's kind of cooled off since then as we get to what, traditionally has been the main National Signing Day. There hasn't been a lot out that we're all privy to. Everybody's hearing and seeing these official visits, and that's been happening a lot this weekend. One of the great things for Auburn is their basketball program right now is just a great recruiting tool because, they bring the football players to that all the time. So if you want to have something good to think about this part of the signing period, they've at least had basketball doing really well to pitch to come. You come here, you can be part of this kind of atmosphere and go to these type of games while you're a football player here. The main things for recruiting is offensive line. My question to myself and other Auburn fans is, why are we assuming that the solution already isn't on campus, meaning that the ones that we already have? And so just because you're not seeing the offensive line coming in doesn't mean it's not being addressed. The coaches, again, have 100% of the information. We have 25%. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't need some help because we do. I'm just willing to give them some time, assume that they have it under control, and maybe they've got a few surprises in store for us on National Signing Day that we're not privy to. And, he surprised us on early signing period, so I'm willing to give them that chance.